Matt Lenihan for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. And been joined by Conah Walker. Conah, how's things, matey? You're training away down in the gym today and, got a session in before the weekend?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, just finished. Just finished training this morning. Bit of boxing, and then a run later. Strength conditioning tomorrow, and then rest on Sunday.
Lovely. Look, last time we spoke was Lewis Crocker fight week. You had that fight. I think many people said it's one of the most sort of entertaining fights they'd seen live. Complete value for money. A really entertaining fight. I think I sat close with some of your family watching that fight. A lot of people thought you'd got the win over Lewis that night, but it's one of them fights where although the result didn't go your way, I feel like your stock went up still. Um, Signed with Sam Jones. Have you sort of taken a lot away from that fight? Obviously, in the
Yeah,
aftermath.
definitely. Yeah, definitely. He was a great dance partner. I enjoyed the fight. We done well on the tickets. The atmosphere was amazing. It's just another. It's another 10 round camp. It's another great fight. And it's one where I could take a lot away because he's back to be like the next best thing, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? At 147, apparently he's meant to be this next world beater, and in my eyes, I beat him. And along with a lot of other people in who was there. I come out of the ring and I had Tony Bellew, Darren Barker, all that whole side of that ring. They all come up to me, it's like you've been robbed there. I mean, listen, it is what it is. It's boxing. It ain't gonna stop me going where I need to go. Like you said, if anything, it's done me some favors because whoever's watched it knows that look, in my eyes, it could have gone either way, and it went his way, and that's what happened. So we just got to move on.
There was a big thing, I think, before the fight. A lot of people were talking about the power of Lewis Crocker, and I know people. I've speak to obviously Jamie Conlon quite a bit, and Michael, and people from that side and close with them guys, and they said, look, he hits hard as anything. So for the first couple of rounds, I'm there watching, going, at some point you're going to land on him. At some point he's going to land on you. If you can take these shots or take one of these haymakers, this fight's going to be unreal, and it was. But have you spoke about potentially running that back because there was obviously we know what we're going to get from that kind of fight. I know he'll want to kick on and whatever because he's got the victory, but there was talks about Paddy Donovan for him next, and we don't know. We've not heard if that deal's done or not. What have you heard? Because you're in the mix now with all these boys.
Well, I've had my confirmation on my next fight. It's a cracker. It's one that's not going to disappoint. So I've got my route, and obviously, of course, I want to run it back. Obviously, there's unfinished business there. But what's happened is it's a good little thing. That's obviously I can't say
Yeah,
anything. It should be getting announced in the next few days, I'd imagine.
yeah.
But like, yeah, I think them two are back and squabbling. From what I can hear through my friends in Belfast and in Ireland, that them two are squabbling where it's going to be and what venues and what part of Ireland it's going to be. Which which I get to a certain extent, but they're both signed to fight, and I know they're getting good money, so just get in there, do it neutral, do it somewhere where neither of you've got the home
Yeah.
advantage.
Do you who obviously you've shared the ring with one of them. Obviously I know you'll have seen clips of Paddy and watched his fights as well. Obviously, because he's the potential rival of yours as well. Hopefully you get to share the ring with Paddy as well. Who do you favour in that fight?
But you know what? I've got no sort of because I haven't shared the ring with Paddy. I do think he's a great boxer. I do. Um, I've studied a lot of both of them because obviously they're in the mix and they're in my way. And I see gaps in both their styles. It's just who comes out on the night. I think it's another 50-50 fight. It's whoever brings it on that night. I think, and I think if Crocker does catch him, I think he will go over because Crocker can tap. Um, but you know, he's got to catch him. Paddy's got to be good for 10 to 12 rounds, isn't he? That's the
Yeah.
bottom. That's the thing. Crocker's only got to land one because he can tap a bit. So it'll be interesting.
I think obviously after the fight, the couple of weeks went by. I can't remember exactly how soon it was, but I remember texting Sam Jones when it got announced and just said, "Wow!" I said, "That's I'm so pleased you've sort of aligned yourself because I felt like it would be almost like fighters." sort of historically, when you do take a defeat, and before you've been in this, situation before. It's almost like it's a rebuild job, and you're not sure sometimes where the opportunities are going to come. You maybe have to take less money because it was such a good fight. It's opened the door for someone like Sam to say, you know what, let's work together. Let's get you in certain positions. Let's really sort of run this up to the max. How pleasing was it the fact you've got a deal with Sam, and looking at his stable as well, it's one that he's keen to kick and keen to push on. You must have been buzzing.
Yeah, look, there was nothing wrong with my management. There was nothing. I wasn't upset. I wasn't. It was strictly business for me. And obviously, I've always, Sam's been at the top level with the top fighters for a while now. And for me, it was just about boxing. You've only got a small window of boxing and making money and securing a better life for your family. And it was. I admired Sam for what he's done for many years, and like I said, it's nothing against my management. It was just strictly me and Sam had a conversation. He told me what he can do for me, and I've proved sort of in the last few fights on the sort of big stage what I can do, and I'm just I'm delighted. I'm happy to be with him, and it was a big step for me because I really got on with my management and with friends, and do you know what I mean? But I just I've had to do the right thing for my family, and Sam wants what I want. He wants to give me that sort of he wants to bless me and my family as much as I do. And obviously probably not as much, but like that's his goal. So it's nice to be both on the same page. He knows I'll take any fight, any time. But that's where you get the management who controls the sort of fights that you're going to have, and
yeah,
and sets a route out. And we've got a route which I'm all for. And if it comes off, then I'm going to be a happy man.
I know you can't always go into these things because obviously you don't want to out tell everyone the plans kind of thing. But what are the goals for you? Like as in if we look 18 months down the line, you get this next fight done, and in your eyes, God willing, you come out on top. You have another couple of big fights. What's the next 18 months look like for you? At the end of it, what do you want to look back saying? Well, this is exactly where we need to be. Where is that? What's that place?
World titles always world title. I think what it was because the world title was in such. It was in grabbing distance. It was on the contract, like it was Crocker, Paddy. Crocker had the same contract, and Paddy did. You get through your next two fights, you got a world title. Do you know what I mean? And that obviously I can say that now because it's been aired.
Yeah.
I've seen it aired. Eddie said it and whatnot. So it's like I've had it in touching distance. I was ranked number 4 in 4 or 5 in the world in the WBA. I was in touching distance of that world title, and it's every boxer's dream to become a world champion. To say you're the best in the world is obviously amazing. But for me personally, it is just strictly just securing the massive fights. Like Tyler Denny, my good friend, he's gone out there and he's fighting in front of 95,000 people. To tell your kids, and you're going, oh, goosebumps now saying it. To tell your kids, and you're going, kids, I've boxed in front of 95,000 people. Do you know what I mean? One under anti. These are the sort of nights I want. Nights where I can say, yeah, I've done that. I've done. You know what I mean? Like, and obviously it all comes down to securing the better life and whatever. But that's obviously the end goal. But I want these mega fights. I want people to be talking about me. Everyone from Wolverhampton to go, that Conah Walker. He fought everyone, and every time he fought, people had bums on their seats and they watched that fight because it was entertaining.
Everyone always talks about world titles. You said it there. I think it's quite key to pick up on. But there's some people who maybe have won world titles in the past who, some people don't even know. Like they could walk down the street and maybe not know where. Is it for you? Is it that trade-off of sometimes, if maybe the world title didn't come, but you were involved in these events where you mentioned there, like a Tyler Denny, where he's got the 94,000, he's created this history of, big fights. He's been away in the B corner. He's fought. Obviously, I know you want to get to the world title, but would you be satisfied with your career if it didn't come, as long as you had the big nights and you could manage to put your family in a better position moving forward? Because boxing is a tough old game, and you are now seeing sort of the good side of it in terms of the opportunities. And a lot of people can't retire after boxing because they don't get offer enough money. So, what's the sort of the trade-off in your mind?
Yeah, like you say, I want to retire retired. I want to, and in all fairness, I'm making the steps. Every penny I've had from the sort of from Matchroom and the bigger fights, I'm not seeing them. I'm putting them straight into my business, into sort of my portfolio, and sort. Do you know what I mean? And obviously that is the game. That's the end goal to secure. Once I finish boxing, I want to finish boxing. I want to do what I got to do. What I've missed out on for, I've boxed from. I started boxing at 18. I'm 29 now, and I haven't took I haven't took a backward step. I've in that time, the 11 to 12 years I've boxed, I haven't had more than 2 weeks off the gym. I've boxed regularly. I've had 3 fights a year minimum in my pro career, all through lockdown, all through this. Yeah. I've had I think 6 or 7 fights in my first year. I'm active in boxing. Do you know what I mean? And I've got a lot of catching up to do. You know what I mean? I've missed out on a lot, and I want to travel the world. I want to do a lot of things with my family. So yeah, that's the bottom line. Obviously, I want to secure that. But like you say, I want to be talked about. I want to be that name from Wolverhampton. I want to sell the Molyneux out. I want to do. There's things I want to do. There's on my tick list. But boxing at the minute, it's thriving, and I've just got to keep chipping away, and I'll get them opportunities.
Yeah, you mentioned there obviously Molyneux, and I think everyone sort of wants that big stadium feel. And look, I know the atmosphere for the Crocker fight. It was electric. I really like that arena at Resorts World where it was actually. I think it's a brilliant setup there, and I think there'll be many more fights there to come. But in terms of a place you could fight, we're seeing opportunities. Obviously, like you mentioned, Tyler and Wembley. There's the influx of Saudi Arabia. Obviously, Matchroom have a lot of shows going on in America as well. I'm sure you had aspirations when you were younger to say maybe fighting in a Vegas or New York. What is there an ideal venue for you that you'd go? You know what, I'd like to tick that off and say, you know what, I've been there. Whether it's headline or whatever you're doing, is there a venue that you're like, I need to do that?
Do you know what? I'll be honest. Like, yeah, there's you said them all there. Vegas, Saudi. They're the sort of massive fights and the massive money fights. I would absolutely love them. Obviously, I would never turn them down. For me, because I'm a proud Yammy, I'm born and bred from Wolverhampton. I love my city, and I've got a lot of good friends. And it's sort of, if I could, even if you could give me, if you could give me the town hall, the civics, and put in a massive show on, because I think I do really well, because to people, there's the casuals that can't make it a little bit further out. I think it would be, the Civic, obviously the Molyneux for a world title would be amazing, but I'd like to bring it back home. Do you know what I mean? I'd like to be the bloke who brought it back here, and make memorable nights that way. But obviously, of course, the Saudis and the American, I'd like to go all around the world. I've boxed in Belfast, but Sweden. I've done a bit of boxing abroad from amateurs and the pro, but I think if I can box abroad and I'm traveling for work and I'm getting paid for it, it's it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Just quickly, I want to ask you, Tyler Denny, does he do the business against Hamzah Sheeraz? A tough task, but look, he's been in the away corner that many times where he keeps shocking people. And look, I think he can come into this with, obviously there's pressure, but Hamzah's the big star on that side of things, and they're building him up, and rightly so. He's a terrific talent. But Tyler just keeps, I want to say, defining the odds, because I think people should start believing, he's a really good fighter. But how do you see the fight going? Can he get the job done?
Listen, he's got, Hamzah. I've rated Hamzah for years. I think he's a real good, complete fighter. But Tyler's just that guy. He's that guy that, he finds it every time people write him off. He finds that. He gets a W and he finds a way. And we say, me, Rich, and the lads in the gym, he's that guy that can beat the guys like Hamzah, because, you can't beat Hamzah for boxing. You can't beat him for height. You can't beat him for jab. You can beat him being an awkward southpaw who does things that no one else does. You know what I mean? I've sparred a lot with Tyler for Cyrus. Done 2 camps and we've done a lot of sparring. And he'll just find a mad punch from somewhere. And you think, where's that come from? You know what I mean? And then, but he's fit. He lives a life. He does the things that people don't do. Do you know what I mean? He's and I'm so glad he's got that opportunity and secured the bag. And he's a class dad. He's got 4 kids, and I admire him. And I think he deserves. He's already won for me, but I do think he'll do the business, and I do. I was gonna go to the fight, and one of my mates said, he said, "Oh, I've got tickets." I said, "Yes, show me where they are." I said, "I'll come, like, as long as they're decent tickets," because I was looking at the tickets, expensive, and I'll only go if I'm close to the ring, mate, because 95,000 people is a lot of people. And he told me, and it's right back in the stands, and I said, "I can't, man. I need to watch the fight."
Surely someone at Matchroom or with your connections now will sort you a ticket or get you in there with him
I
anyway.
feel, I've honestly, God, if I thought about asking, but like, it's just a massive. I don't know, man. I'm too proud to sort of ask for stuff like that. I'd rather just go and get it and do it that way. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I ain't big
No,
time yet. I've
no,
got.
I admire that. I admire that in a way. 100%. You got thoughts on the main event for that, Joshua Dubois? It's interesting.
Just talking about it there. We just talking about it in there. Yeah, like Joshua should do the business. He should, like, that's what everyone would be thinking. But Dubois, just like he's at the minute, we've always loved him. We're just saying how nice him and his family was. We saw them at Cardiff, and they're so calm, polite, and respectful. He's just got this little bit this bit about him at the minute. And he wasn't meant to win these last fight. I mean, if he doesn't tighten that sort of left side up from where what's his name was catching with the right hands, his last fight, I can't remember his name.
Pergovic.
Yeah, then he's in for he's gonna get knocked out, because Joshua, you can't take them shots off Joshua. But if he just comes in and just raw, if he tags Joshua, because he can bang, it can get sticky. But I'm gonna go with Joshua just because of what he's done and how he's looked in his last performances. But yeah, it's a good fight. The whole card is just amazing. I mean, them cards. I mean, if you get put on them cards, you've got to feel privileged to be, because that every single fight is a good fight, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Top to bottom, Warrington Kakache.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one, because I think Josh showed, although the fight didn't end how he wanted it to, I think emotions probably ran a bit high for him. Like, he still can compete at that level, and Kakache's coming off a good win. Then you got Liam Smith, Josh Kelly.
That's amazing. Who do you think for that?
I'm not saying, because I got asked the questions, but
Okay, you guys say neutral.
No,
that for me is like a fight where I just can't choose,
but
because it just depends what Liam Smith comes out.
Well, my honest opinion is, what's good about this card, even if I was to give opinions, I wouldn't be able to give you definitive answers on pretty much any of these fights. Even like when you start at the bottom of the card and you look at Willie Hutchinson went over and turned over Craig Richards, and Craig had the new trainer build up. People slept on Willie Hutchinson, and it's like, no, this is going to be a good fight. And I think now, I think this will be harder, because sort of the cat's out the bag a bit now. He won't be as underestimated going into this, and Boazzi won't underestimate.
No.
But it's a good fight.
I think Willie's that guy to beat the sort of Boazzi's. Do you know what I mean? The not unorthodox shots that people that, like, the traditional boxer won't throw, because Boazzi's he's all sort of basics lines. And he does the basics well, which is obviously, the top fighters have built their careers off that, and you can do that. But someone like Willie Hutchinson, who just goes in as fun, if he just keeps you that one,
he can box as well. Willie, he's a really good boxer. So I think that's a good fight. Like you said there, the Liam Smith one's so intriguing, because Josh Kelly is now comfortable at a higher weight. Liam Smith's adamant that the last fight. And I think we could all see it weren't the same Liam Smith from the type of, not taking a out from Eubank, because at the end of the day, you sign up to fight, you get in the ring, winner takes the glory, and the loser sadly has to move on. But things happen, and I don't believe that was the Liam Smith that we can see. So can you imagine the Liam Smith's at the level he can be, and you've Josh Kelly, who's obviously, he's coming off some good performances. It's another step up. Be interesting to see where they're both at.
it's like you say that they both had the same. They both had the same notice. It's just and they both would have had amazing camps. Unless it's everyone has the same opportunity. It's on the night. If you can come out on the night and perform, I think what it is with me, if I go out and enjoy it and embrace it, that's when you see the best of me. But if you go out there and you're thinking about things and you lose a lot of your skill and your sort of your way, if in a way. But yeah, it's on every fight. They say it's who comes out on the night.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, let's catch up soon. We'll look forward to hearing your fight announcement. And yeah, I'm sure we'll catch up fight week or whatever it is, the next media opportunity with you. And wish you all the best moving forward, pal.
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, the fight should be announced within, I don't know, within the next week or so. It's going to be a good one. So yeah, we'll catch up once it's announced, and no doubt there should be like a pre-presser or something. I don't know. We'll see.
Appreciate it. Anyway, good luck, and we will catch up soon.
Nice one. Cheers, mate. Thank you.